Welcome back, everybody. It's Chad from the Right Line. Got the band back together again. Welcome to the Right Line, everybody. My name is Chad, and as you can tell, I've got some axles. If you're finding the Right Line for the first time, thank you for watching. On this channel, you're going to find Jeeping and camping and DIY stuff and Jeep axle builds, RC stuff. My son and I like to do some of that stuff. And if you've been watching, you'll notice from the last video that I was working on the rear Dana 44. Mounted this brake hose right there. And the goal for me was to have some brake hoses made to go from the T down to this caliper and from the T down to that caliper. Unfortunately, what I've learned is that for me to have that done, for the brake line, there has to be some kind of swivel in it. In other words, the end of the pipe needs to go into the T with a fitting that's loose so that the pipe can twist, right? And I was going to have Crown Performance make some flexible steel braided lines for this, but unfortunately they can't do it without adding adapters here to make a swivel and over here to make a swivel. And their adapters are going to be way too long to fit in this space. So we're going back to plan A, which is the Jeep LJ Rubicon 44 had a rubber line going from the banjo bolt to a fixed bracket here, and then a steel line from here up to the T. And the same thing on the other side. Here's a picture of a friend of mine, his Jeep. This is kind of what they look like. So my intent is, today, Tuesday, my hoses should be ready at Napa. I'm gonna go pick them up today. They're gonna be factory LJ Rubicon rear brake hoses. So from here to here, it's gonna be a rubber line. And from there to there, it's gonna be a rubber line. And then I'm gonna make a steel line from here to there and from there to there. I think it's called copper nickel, nickel copper. I forget what the line is called. I'll put it down right here. Anyways, it makes it a little bit more malleable so I can bend it, make a nice curve here and go all the way around this stuff and tie it down. Same thing over here, go up over the diff and down. That's gonna make things a little bit nicer because it'll allow me to have a pivot, or not a pivot, a swivel up at the T, so fitment of the line will be much easier. Otherwise, without the swivel, when you go to attach your line here at the T and you run it all the way down to there, there's no ability to orient the line to the banjo bolt. And then what you might have is a line that's twisted, and I don't want that. So that's the idea. That's the goal with that. So I have my line straightener. I ordered some 3/16 hard line. I have the bender. I'm waiting for my flaring tool. I think I got a sliver in my hand. I'm waiting for my flaring tool, and that's going to arrive in a couple days. And once I have that, I can go ahead and make, excuse me. Once I have that, I can go ahead and make those lines. And then the steel lines, the brake lines on the rear diff will be done. That diff will then be ready for some gears. It'll be ready for bearings, new hardened shafts, and some primer and paint, and that axle's done. Today, since I'm waiting, I can't really do much on the rear. So today what I wanted to do was start stripping down this front high pinion Dana 30. I want to get the steering off of it, and I want to get some of the brackets off. The upper brackets stay. These don't go anywhere. They stay because they're supposed to nestle around the new truss bracket kit from Artec, JK2TJ front axle bracket kit. Coincidentally, if you're looking for Artec parts, if you use my promo code TRL at checkout, it'll save you 15%. It'll save you 15%, plus I get a little bit because of the affiliation. So I think everybody likes to save money. I only bought one of those axle dollies, those red axle dollies. That's what the rear axle is on. And I'm glad because I wouldn't have room. But I still need this I still need to be able to move this diff around in the garage. So I kind of made it like a poor man's jack stand. There we go. We're gonna run with this today, see how far we get. It's hot in Arizona right now, so I'm trying to get some work done before it becomes 1,000,000 degrees outside on my day off. We'll see how things go. If you're from Arizona, you know what I mean. So, while some are working today, I got the day off. I work the weekend, so I earned the day off for sure. Okay, so I mentioned this in the last video, but if you didn't catch the last video, here's the situation here. Working on a 2001 Jeep TJ. The 2001 TJ has the factory rear Dana 35 and the front Dana low pinion 30. We're not happy with those axles. They're not strong enough for what we need. So I have JK rear Rubicon Dana 44 with a locker and 32 spline axle shafts and rear disc brakes. Major update and upgrade over the Dana 35. In the front, we're working on a high pinion JK Dana 30. I could not find a front Rubicon JK 44 that was not either $1 million or was bent and damaged, and I didn't want that. So plus, this is a project for me now, so I have something cool to do. In any case, both of these have the TJ, or this one's going to have anyway, the JK2TJ bracket kit, so they will bolt right underneath my son's TJ. That one, the rear, is going to have hardened axle shafts, and then that's going to be done. There's not much else going on with that one. For the front, I think I'm going to convert the locker to 30 spline, the shafts to 30 spline. It'll keep the outer shaft at 32 spline, which is factory, which is good. We're going to do RPM's aluminum steering kit for the front. Probably do either Apex or Dynatrack ball joints. I'm not sure. I have the Dynatracks in my JK. We'll see how that goes. Shafts will be hardened. It'll have the truss kit. Depending on the diameter of the shafts, I might sleeve these tubes. I just don't know if I want to do that or not. I did it on my JK, and I don't know if it bought me anything, really. Some of you are going to probably tell me down in the comments what you would do. That's fine. Give me some suggestions. I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. In any case, just got to tear this one down and get some work done to it. Let's get the steering off. Honestly, I wasn't sure if me just sitting here in the garage with a microphone and some tools was going to be something people would like to watch. So it's kind of a gamble. But some of you responded favorably to it. So I thought I'd do another one. It's kind of fun anyway. Yeah. Tell me down in the comments below if you think this is really sketch. No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna survive. As long as I don't drop this on my toes. We'll see how that goes. So next year, my son and I and some of our friends are gonna tackle the Nevada BDR. And it is a very remote trail. And we wanted to get some of these upgrades done to his Jeep before we tackle that trail. And I had a very keen thought that I would feel more comfortable with that trip if we had some fresh axles. Oh, wait. Hello. Get a little bit ahead of myself. Feel a little bit more keen if we had some fresh axles. Get some lockers. Oh, hello, don't move anywhere. Stay. Come on. There we go. Nice. Hey, anybody want some factory JK steering parts? Cheap. All you got to do is come get them. You can have them. Free to a good home. All right. There's your drag link. I'm going to get your tie rod for you here in just a second. What size is that? 18? Probably. Please be 18. All right. Have you ever heard that before? Please be 18. You can have the steering stabilizer too if you want it. Shimmy shock, stabilizer, whatever you want to call it. Seriously, if you're local in Arizona and you want this stuff, let me know and I'll get it to you. Otherwise, it's going to go in the garbage. Okay, track bars next. For the front track bar, we're going to use front and rear track bars. I'm going to use TerraFlex's track bars. They have a high steer kit that includes a track bar that's double shear. So from the factory, the JK track bar is kind of bolted in like this, where you have one bolt coming down from the frame. It's just single shear like this. And the new one is double shear like that. Actually shifts the frame side track bar bracket a little bit further forward, but it's double shear with a bolt that goes through this way. So I really dig TerraFlex's track bars. I've had those in the past. Had pretty good luck with those. It's good stuff. Let's see, let's get those off of there. 18, I believe. Yep, we're gonna need a wrench. Anyhow, I have been super excited about this project since the beginning. I just wish I had more time. If, you know, money were no object and I was a gazillionaire, we'd be doing something different, but we're not. The way I see it is I've got a year to get these things finished. Got a local shop that's really good. They're gonna do all my gearing and bearings. Really happy with those guys. They did me really well in the past with an issue I had. Anyways, save all your bolts, guys. I have a big box in the Jeep, a big bag rather. I keep all that stuff because number one, you never know if you're gonna break something or somebody else is gonna break something. So keep your hardware. I don't go anywhere without a lot of extra stuff. All right, steering's off. Next, I think what we're gonna do, take the rotors off, take the calipers off. It'd save weight for sure. 21 millimeters. What projects do you have in your garage? Are you doing something as lofty as this? Do you prefer to four-wheel a different platform? Are you a Toyota driver, Ford? Tell me down in the description, or down in the comments. And also, where are you from? Are you in one of the other four-wheel meccas of the country like Colorado or Utah, Southern California, maybe back east, Tennessee? I have a friend in Tennessee. What's up, Jake? Whoop, whoop. I think Jake's probably watching. Jake's got a restaurant in Tennessee. He was actually on my podcast. That's right, I have a podcast if you didn't know. It's on this channel. I've had some really cool guests. I've kind of fallen just a little bit behind on the podcast episodes, if I'm honest. I've been really busy with work. You know how that is, right? Life gets in the way. Life always gets in the way. Wouldn't it be nice if we were all independently wealthy, do whatever we wanted? That'd be nice. Woo! God, I love electric. We will have new rotors, new calipers, new brake pads. Oh, hey, look at this. This is a good time to bring this up. How do you know your brake pad, your calipers, starting to have some issues? Look at the wear on those pads. Thicker down here, thinner down there, maybe a caliper starting to hang up. If I had to guess, it was this pin. Fun stuff, right? Always looking for that kind of stuff when you're tearing stuff down. In this case, it's not going to matter because it's all going to be replaced. Okay, what's next? Unit bearing and axle shafts, maybe? We don't have to worry about ABS with our application, so none of this stuff is going to apply. What are two of some of the most important sockets that you need for your Jeep vehicle? Not the one I just dropped underneath the jack stand. Number one, a 12-point 13mm socket for the unit bearing bolts and a 36mm socket for the hub nut. You need those for sure. If you don't have those, you're never going to tear the front of this thing apart. Let me see if I can find a 12-point 13 in my box. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Found the adapter. Please don't harangue me about using an adapter. I'm not curing cancer here. I'm just tearing an axle apart. So that makes it convenient. Oh, one more thing. I just thought about this. How can you tell if your caliper is a driver side or a passenger side? You're shouting it out right now, I can tell. The air bleeder needs to be on the uphill side. That's how you could tell. So for example, this might be a passenger side caliper because the air bleeder's up. We want air to escape out. Air is going to go up when you're bleeding. As soon as I cut this loose, take this out, this ABS line is going to be in the way. So I'm going to cut this loose from the tie down here. It's nice when you're tearing down without the intent of putting it exactly back together again the way that you took it apart because of the application. Because I won't have to worry about ABS lines on the 2001 Jeep TJ. I think some of them might have had ABS. This one doesn't. I did do a video on this Jeep that we're talking about a little while ago. Ouch. Now, here's a trick. If you're replacing just a unit bearing, you need to take the 36mm hub nut off. If you're just tearing it apart, you can save yourself the time and take the hub bolts out, then everything comes out together. Axle shaft and hub bearing, then you can take that apart later. My 36mm is out in the Jeep, and I'm too lazy to go get it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tear this apart. Maybe. Ah, there we go. That's a little more like it. I think I'm gonna replace these bolts. All right, back in business. That socket was on there pretty good. Got it off though. Almost there. No, we're not going to reuse these. We're going to replace them. and he sees people. Well, this has never come apart. You want to know how I know? As those. All right, straighten you back out. Man, seeing that washer on the differential there, or excuse me, on the axle shaft there, reminds me of working on the Ford pickup I used to have. It was my first pickup, and I could tell that nobody had ever worked on it, or the transmission anyway, because when they assemble the Ford C4, maybe even the C6 transmission, there's a little white plug that's in the end of the dipstick tube. Keeps debris from getting down into the transmission. And it's only after somebody works on it and they knock that plug down into the drain pan, and you pull that out and you're like, oh God, where'd this come from? What's going on? What's broken? And it just fell down from the tube. Oh, yep. Never come apart before. The Dana 30 has a 27 spline inner axle shaft. And a 32 spline outer axle shaft. People toss these and they get rid of them. I kind of dig them because the seal surface is right here, right? And when you're sliding this axle shaft down that diff tube, you want this into the axle shaft to slide right through the seal without ripping it. And this washer here helps center the axle into the center of the tube, so you're less likely to get it into the center of the seal without ripping it. So we'll be probably using those when we reassemble this thing. All right, let's say for example you took this apart. You're getting ready to reassemble it. Number one, you don't remember how this was oriented, right? Like, oh shit, I have no idea how this was oriented. Well, a couple things. Number one, wheel speed sensor comes in right here. That's the hole for the wheel speed sensor. So you know this part faces forward. But let's say you swapped them and you don't know if this is the driver's side or the passenger side. You can look for the witness marks here. Plus, this is the dirty side. This is the brake side. If you can see the difference there between that. So this goes on just like that. Oh, fun stuff, folks. Well, the next thing to do is to start cutting all these brackets off, and it's going to be pretty boring for you to watch all that. You probably don't want to see me cut the brackets off, so I'm going to end this video here. If you like what you saw, hit the like button down below. Leave a comment, share if you really dig it. And I think on the next video I'll probably I'll finish up the rear brake lines on the rear differential, and I'll get the bracket kit ordered for this front differential. So stick around if you'd like to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.